Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an SU-14-1. It's a Tier 7 Soviet SPG. It's located on the southwest corner of highway, and it's under the command of 73north. And it's showing no equipment, so I can't tell you what he's actually carrying. Game on. Well, I do know that he is actually carrying the BR2 howitzer, which is 152mm in caliber. I can know that because it's the long barrel. If it was a short fat barrel, that would be the B4, which is 203mm. With the 152, he's capable of doing 600 alpha, 38mm a pin, and 7.2 meters on the burst radius, between 11.5 and 23 seconds of stun. And the reload time, normally by the book, is 51 point. It's the wrong one. It's not 51. It's 23.97 seconds between shots, and he's got 20.74. Now he's aiming towards the ridgeline on the other side of the battlefield. He's hoping the A43 will spot somebody for him. When I first aced the SU-14-1, I did it with the long barrel, the 152, because you get a lot more shots with that long barrel. You can pump out the ammo at the enemy very, very quickly. And the A43's managed to get a long way without being spotted, except now maybe that XM57 is looking at him. Yeah, unfortunately, he just wiped him out as well. And we got a return fire shot in for 40 hit points. But sadly, yes, we did lose the A43. He went too far, and he got spotted, and he got taken out. Now, the SU-14-1 was actually made from the T-35 tank. Now, that's a heavy tank that was actually designed during the interwar period. T-35 was a multi-turreted tank, which wasn't particularly good. In fact, the ratio of the length to width were not good enough, and in fact, in actual fact, it was a pretty poor tank, although the Germans did like them as command tanks because they did offer a lot of space for their crews. 199 hit points off the T-34-85, and when the enemy lost their Skoda T-17. But that was a good shot there. Let's see what else he can do. And the T-34-85 goes down, and he actually gets the communications expert up and running for getting the stun assist. Now, originally, this Arty was made with the 152mm gun, and or is it the 203? No, I think actually it did have a 203mm gun, but it was replaced by the 152mm in 1936. Some of the parts for the SU-14-1 actually came from T-28s. But of course, as we all know, the T-28 was actually taken out of service. There's a nice shot there on the Tiger 1. It was taken out of service before it could be used for either the SU-8 or the anything else. And in fact, actually, they did only manufacture 2 copies of the SU-14-1. And they were the same vehicles that were then upgraded to be the SU-14-2. Good shot on the Tiger, leaves them a 1 shot now for our teammates, and he goes down immediately to the next shot that comes in from the VK3001P. So far 73 North doesn't have a kill, but he does have some good hit points, and he's having a bit of fun there. Okay, we've got a Carnarvon. Unfortunately, one of our tanks, a Nurgle, is trapped. But look at that. He actually managed to get the spotting on that Carnarvon. And the enemy is gathering together to assassinate that Nurgle. And poor tank is going to go down. In fact, yes, he just went down. So, yes, they all gathered together to take him out. No chance for him to survive. Even if we fired shells in, it wasn't going to reach him in time to do anything. So now we're changing position to avoid counter battery. We're 2 down on the enemy in terms of kills, but we still have a number of our tanks near the cap area to protect us. Now he's going up onto that hill there because, of course, he might have to go over the top of that hill to protect himself. Ferdinand's been spotted near the town, and also VK3601H and the T29. He fires in, gets something off the VK, but he's now going to have to reload. Still got plenty of ammo. That's one of the good things about this Arty. It does have a lot of ammo to play with. With the 152mm gun, it's 32 rounds of ammo. If he only had the 203mm, he'd be limited to just 16 rounds. Again, this is one of these wrong things that Wargaming mucks up, because I'm afraid, yeah, Arty do tend to get supply trucks which bring in all the ammo they need. So technically speaking, they should have unlimited ammo. Mind you, if we had unlimited ammo in the game for any of the Artys, it would prevent us actually getting a Faden's medal. So you have to take that into account. I mean, Wargaming could specify that the owner of the Arty could say whether or not he's going to have unlimited ammo or not. And if he did have unlimited ammo, he'd be giving up the chance to get the Faden's, but he would have plenty of ammo to play with and be able to get a good score, a decent score in the game. Well, the good thing is now we're one tank ahead of the enemy. We were two behind. Now we're one tank ahead. Again, he's moving position. Oh, now he's sitting up on top of that hill. He might get spotted by that VK. And the enemy still has two Arty. So do we. The other Arty on our team happens to be an FE304. And I think that was the FE304 just firing there. He's marked the target to say that's the one I'm going for. And yes, the FE304 is firing rounds in on that VK. And that's a big hit, that one. 243. And he got the rest of the stun assist after he got taken out by the ISU-152K. If you wonder why there was no videos over the weekend, it was actually down to the fact that I had absolutely dreadful migraines and I just couldn't do any videos at all. I was actually even getting the visual effects. When you get the visual effects, you know you've got to rest your head. Otherwise, it can be very, very disorienting when you can't actually, you get this kaleidoscope effect on your eyes, which it looks like you've got a free kaleidoscope. It's very, very disconcerting. It's also, it tends to go on and keep on for quite some time. It's a very similar feeling to being drunk, actually, because when you're drunk, you can't work out where you are and the world starts spinning. The same thing happens when you get the kaleidoscope effect in a migraine. Luckily, I do carry liquid ibuprofen to enable me to get rid of it. But sometimes the only cure is actually to go and rest your head and it will go away. Okay, well, 10 all. 5 tanks left on both teams. Both teams still have Arty, and both teams still have 2 tank destroyers. Rounds out. That's good. Yep. The only difference is that our team has a light tank, the EBR Hotchkiss. The enemy doesn't. What they have instead is a heavy tank. And there he is, the Carnarvon. Now, we could stun him, but we can't lay the shell over the top unless we're going to accept that we're only going to get a bit of stun. Rounds out in the Carnarvon. Oh, he put that shell very, very accurately to stun the Carnarvon without actually damaging his teammates. and the kill shot goes to the Burt, the FV304. Very well played that, because it's very difficult to put a shell in such a way to actually get stun without actually affecting your teammates. The alternative is to actually switch shells to non-stun HE and stun the enemy, not stun the enemy, but damage the enemy. Now, the tank destroyers the enemy has an XM57, who happens to have a top gun at the moment, and the Basotto. That's the XM57 who killed our A43 right at the start of the game. And there's the Basotto. And look at this, how close he managed to get to our cap without our teammate spotting him. And the annoying thing is, oh, well, we managed to get a large amount of hit points out of him. And he is being fired on, and that's a Confederate. Well done. Now, unfortunately, we lost the Jagdpanther because he got spotted and taken out by the enemy Arty, an AMX-13F3AM. But now it's 4 versus 3. The EBR going in to have a look, try and find out where the enemy is. More than likely, the two Arty will be in rows 9 and 0. Or columns 9 and 0, I should say. Okay, others are saying go for the cap. In fact, actually, it is 73north who's saying go for the cap. It will force the enemy to appear. Well, there's one of the Arty, the M12, the Tier 7 American, rounds out. Oh, that was an Amarak, yes. And you see the M12 did carry some ammunition on the vehicle, but most of the time it actually had another vehicle called the T30, which would actually carry all the shells. And that was basically the same vehicle as the M12, but just without the howitzer, without the gun, actually. It's not a howitzer, it's a gun. And they would store all the shells on that vehicle. So we don't know where the XM is, but now we do. And he's suddenly appeared. He's occupying the cap area. Oh, yep, unfortunate. Happens. It's happened to me recently as well. Okay, the EBR was maneuvering, trying to get a shot on this guy. He's also acutely aware that the XM is looking directly at him. Rounds out. A nice bit of splash that stunned him as well. And he managed to get the kill shot. In fact, was that the AMX? It was the AMX that he just killed. Which means the XM is the last one. And we're down into the last 2 minutes of the game. Now, the problem is the XM could be hiding, waiting just a short distance away for somebody to get into the cap, build up enough cap points, and then they'll get their defender medal. They may know that they're going to lose the game. On the other hand, he might actually be coming up our end of the map at this moment, in which case he might suddenly appear out of nowhere. And yes, 73north has decided that he is actually going to move. No, the enemy is over the other side of the battlefield. The ISU-152K just killed the XM57, and that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for 73north in the SU-14-1. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, and he managed to get 11 in total on that game. And he also did get a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from that one, 2,614, which is Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game because that went to the ISU-152K, which is a premium tank destroyer with a very big gun, the BL-10. He managed to get a high caliber and a top gun, and he picked up 3,890 hit points of damage and 6 kills. Second place turned out to be the XM57, who's still got a top gun and 2,781 hit points of damage. And in third place, well, that goes to the Carnarvon with 2,677. Fourth place turns out to be 73north with 2,020. When it came to kills, though, two tanks stand out. The ISU-152K and the XM57 both have a top gun each. 3 kills went to the GeForce 1008, and 2 kills went to the AMX13F3 and the FB304. So the Artys, or 2 of the Artys, were in third place when it came to kills. When it came to 73north, he didn't get any kills at all in that game, but he did get a fair amount of hit points, and that influenced the battle quite a lot. When it came to base XP, he's in third place because the top scorer is the ISU-152K with 1,216, followed by the EBR Hotchkiss with 1,175. He picked up a patrol duty. And then we've got 73north and his Confederate with 1,154. So 3 players managed to get over 1,000 base. And the next one after that was only 725. So yes, these were the standout players in the game. He fired 21 rounds, got 7 direct hits on the enemy, but none of them penetrated. 15 splashes, 2,020 hit points of damage, of which 1,896 were at more than 300 meters. He damaged 80 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he got 425 hit points of damage assistance and 1,964 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made 33,483 credits from that game. And he also made 3,462 experience points out of it as well. So it's a pretty good game after all. And yes, he did have a big influence. His aiming really was spot on some occasions. Unfortunately, he couldn't save that Nurgle. He got himself into a predicament where he was surrounded by the enemy. And that was really quite an awful fate to actually behold. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. And thank you for watching.